What's up, everyone? So, we got the last of the home starters. Um, if you are new here, I would recommend watching at least the Sceptile video first because I talk a lot more about the introductory stuff in there. If you are new here, but to sum it up very shortly, this is a ROM hack where I've rebalanced and reworked every Pokemon to be much more viable and to be a lot more unique and fun. And I've done tons of custom new changes, like tons of custom new abilities, 28 of them to be exact. Really cool new move changes. There's like 130 plus new moves and tons of other new moves that are reworked or changed to the point where they basically are also new moves. It's just a very in-depth and thorough thing, and you can check out all of these changes and all of these reworks and buffs and whatever for yourself in the description below. You can look and you can see I have a very detailed move guide, I have a very detailed ability guide, held items, all that stuff, and of course all of the other Pokemon are there as well. So that's all really cool, and I would definitely recommend checking all that out if this kind of thing interests you. But with that being said, I want to talk about Swampert. So again, the other two have already gone through their changes. Of course, they all are on much more equal footing. So Mega Swampert Swampert's already a great mon. I mean, of course, it was a great mon. So if you asked me how would I sum up this buff in the shortest way possible, I would say reliable recovery, stronger, and better abilities. That's just the simple way to put it. Reliable recovery and Aqua Ring, which Aqua Ring is now water type recover, and then when he evolves, he also gets Sediment, which is a ground type version of recover, which will heal you 2/3 in the sand. So it's objectively better than Aqua Ring. So that's a cool little healing option. Not that you're running Sand Swampert, you're mostly going to be running Rain Swampert, obviously because of hydration and Swift Swim, and also just for the boost to your water stat. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. First, I want to quickly touch on the fact that Swampert has the interesting predicament of being a water ground type, which is obviously a great typing, but I had to make sure that he doesn't outclass the other water ground types, because before that, you could argue he was by far the best water ground type, and the other ones are all kind of just shitty versions of Swampert. It's kind of sad, but that's how it was. However, if you go check out the Quagsire video, you can see what I did with him. But his stats are obviously objectively, I think, worse in every regard. Besides, no, literally just worse in every regard as stat wise. However, he has incredible abilities and incredible move pool, and he's also a level 20 evolution, so he'll evolve much earlier. But he has Unaware and Simple, which are incredible abilities, obviously. And also really cool moves that he can abuse with those. So he definitely is a lot better than Swampert in a lot of regards because of Unaware with all of these powerful boosting mons, and Simple is obviously a great boosting ability. You can check that video out for more details. The other water grounds, I'll get to them eventually, but they are Whiscash in Gen 3, and then Gastrodon and Seismitoad, which are 4 and 5. So we'll get to those, but I wanted to make it so every water ground, there's 5 of them, right? 6 if you count Mega Swampert. And there's only 3 abilities that make the user immune to water. Okay, there's Water Absorb, Dry Skin, and Storm Drain. And so I figured Water Absorb fits Swampert the most, and also, for example, Whiscash and Quagsire are the 2 water grounds that aren't immune to water, which not only do I think that kind of fits Quagsire and Whiscash not being immune to water, but I also think that they need a better ability to be good. And also obviously big stat boosts and stuff. Meanwhile, the other 3 already were pretty solid. Of course, they are going to have a lot of interesting and awesome buffs. But Swampert got the quote-unquote worst of the water immunities and Water Absorb, because Dry Skin, while it heals you less, gives you residual healing in the rain, which is really useful. While Storm Drain, of course, gives you that plus 1 special attack, which is also better on a special attacking one anyways. Not that Swampert isn't special attacking, it is a mixed attacker, but obviously it's much more biased towards the physical side, which I'll get into more detailed which I will get into in more detail after I do all this introduction stuff. But the point is, he is no longer the best water ground type. However, he is still a great one. Okay, he's just a super tanky mon. Only one weakness to grass. It's just a very reliable trait to have. Good bulk. I mean, 190, and then Mega actually has modified bulk. It has less special defense, but more physical defense, which I think fits his design. He also has a fucking colossal 170 base attack now. Given the power levels in this hack, 170 attack is not that crazy. However, in the rain, now we're talking. Now he's a fucking monster. Of course, that does require the rain, but not that he's not a monster without. Of course, base Swampert is incredible in general, and I think 170 attack just fits. I mean, look at this motherfucker. I love Mega Swampert. He's by far my favorite of the Megas of the Gen 3 starters. I think he really builds on Swampert's design in a good way. I don't know. I just like Unga Bunga, man. Look at this fucking dude, bro. Look at this fucking anchor arms ass motherfucker. I love him. So you could probably see a little bit of that favoritism seeping in, although obviously the other 2 Megas are incredible in their own rights, Sceptile especially. Blaziken is great, but You can check out that video for yourself. No, I won't talk about it here. But what I do want to say is in this hack you do have access to infinite usability capsules, so you're not always going to be running a rain set. However, a really cool thing that I did is essentially what you can do is, so you have hydration and water absorb, okay, on Swampert, and you might be thinking, well, hydration's kind of shit, isn't it? Hydration's great, okay? In the rain with rest, you are literally just immortal as long as the rain is up. Obviously, the rain has to be up, and however, what you can do is you can run on your other Pokemon or on Swampert itself, you can run Damp Rock Rain Dance, and Damp Rock is buffed to give 6 turns increase. So Damp Rock Rain Dance, if you switch out, has 10 full turns of rain, as opposed to only would be like, what, 7? So you get 3 extra turns instead of, which is a big deal. 3 turns is a lot, okay? So that makes self-setting rain a lot more viable. Of course, also Drizzle plus hydration. You know, Drizzle, then you switch out with Parting Shot or U-turn into your Swampert with the Damp Rock. You now have 11 full turns of hydration, rest, nonsense. And hydration rest is incredible in general in this hack because you will get worn down. So you have great reliable recovery with that if you don't have Aqua Ring or Sediment anymore. Or, you know, it's just better in general. It bypasses stuff like status conditions and that kind of thing. You can also, you know, in the rain, you're immune to stuff like Will-O-Wisp, which is awesome. And a really cool thing is you can actually abuse hydration before you Mega Evolve, and then Mega Evolve to get that Swift Swim and become an offensive monster. So you can become super tanky and defensive, and then Mega Evolve and get Swift Swim in the rain. So it's kind of cool that you could, for example, switch your. For example, you have the rain up, okay? So the opponent's gonna click Will-O-Wisp. You switch into your Swampert, you get healed from that burn, and then you Mega Evolve on that turn and click Swift Swim and kill them. You know, it's our click Mega Evolution, and then you get Swift Swim and kill them. Is my point. So that's a really cool thing you can do. You know, switch into any move that has a high chance to status. For example, a lot of the new moves that have like higher chances to status. Switch in, you're immune to that. It gets healed at the end of the turn, or you can run a bulky set with stuff like Yawn, Stockpile. Hydration is incredible. Stockpile, Rain Dance, whatever. It's really, really good. You can become super tanky and become almost immortal. You also have bulk up and Iron Defense, which boosts your bulk, as well as Amnesia. So Iron Defense, Amnesia, bulk up, Stockpile. Also, Swallow is buffed. Swallow will heal you by full HP. And it's priority, so that's even better than rest. Although, of course, you know, it does take up an entire moveset. It's not really teachable. Meanwhile, rest is you can teach whenever you want. So that's great. All right, great defensive Pokemon, and of course, a great offensive one. I did opt to give him simple stat buffs because his stats were already very solid, at least in terms of the base Swampert. Because, I mean, I just felt like, you know, 90 special attack just fits because 90 and everything, and then 120 attack fits given that the dex here talks about how he has enough power to easily drag a boulder, and his arms are rock hard and they can batter down the foe, and he protects his nest by piling up boulders. He swims as fast as the jet ski, which is the logic for Swift Swim, of course. You know, one swing he breaks a boulder in pieces, and it bashes foes with the swing of its thick arms, which is also why I give it Ice Hammer and Hammer Arm. Great coverage moves for sure. Obviously, he still has Ice Punch and stuff, but Ice Hammer is even stronger for Swift Swim sets, being a 125 base power recoil move as opposed to 80 base power Ice type move with Ice Punch. So very, very strict power upgrade right there with Ice Hammer. You also have Waterfall and Surging Strikes for physical ice type, water type options, and Liquidation via Tutor. Liquidation is very reliable, 85, while Waterfall and Surging Strikes are very powerful. So Waterfall is essentially water type close combat, so in the rain, Waterfall is incredible, but outside of the rain, it's kind of poopy. I wouldn't say poopy, it's still a very strong option, but I would rather run Liquidation outside of the rain. Although what you could do is, you know, Waterfall then switch out or something, or you know, to get rid of the defensive drop, but otherwise I would be running Swift Swim only if you're out. I would only be running Waterfall if you're going to outspeed the opponent. Surging Strikes, however, is great in general, although it is slightly weaker than Waterfall and less consistent because it's inaccurate. It's 90% accurate, and it's 113 base power overall. However, it has the added benefit of critting, which means it ignores stat drops on your side. So, for example, something like Superpower, which I should probably add on there, shouldn't I, by level up, because Superpower is post-game otherwise. So that's the post-game tutor, which is good for a lot of mons, but I want to give him, I think Superpower fits to have him naturally, because look at that guy. So I'll just give him a 7, and then actually that's better, and then Superpower can be it, because it is weaker than Hammer Arm, stronger than Hammer Arm, excuse me, much stronger. Also, yes, in this hack, tons of new moves fit like a new niches or like roles. So for example, stuff like Superpower, like there's the close combat type moves, and you can check all these out in the description below. So, you know, like Waterfall, there's a fire type close combat, Strength is normal type close combat, that kind of stuff. As for other moves, there's like Draco Meteor type moves that drop your attack or special attack by 2 stages. So Superpower is 150 base power, 100% accurate, drops your attack by 2. You can get Impact and Hyper Beam are 160 base power and do the same thing. Hydro Cannon is special and does the same thing, you know, that kind of thing. So that's really awesome. And Hydro Cannon in the rain is incredible, even though you only have 95 special special attack, you know, that's rain boosted, and you can actually really take advantage of that. So you can run Hydro Cannon, drop your special attacks that way too, and then just run physical moves like Surging Strikes or Waterfall, you know, Liquidation, etc. That's awesome. Really, really cool for mix sets. You know, say for example, the Pokemon in front of you is very physically bulky. You can run that mix set and really, you know, hammer them down with that Hydro Cannon and kill them from their weaker special defense set. You also have Muddy Water and Mud Bomb for that purpose. Mud Bomb obviously isn't rain boosted, but it's a very strong move. You can check out all of these buffs in the description below. I don't want to dwell on them too long, but yeah. Also, again, Water Absorb is great. You know, it gives you immunity to water and electric. You know, you switch in on that water move, you lure that water move with your water weak Pokemon, you switch in on it, you know, now you're getting 50% of your health back. It's a great ability, okay? I don't need to explain why Water Absorb is useful. As for the pre-evolutions, you are a lot stronger and bulkier, and you have Torrent, which is a great ability with Endure, or just to have in general, because Water Absorb is not going to be useful every battle. There will be some battles where Water Absorb is literally useless because they don't have a Water-type move, or your other Pokemon is dealing with that Water-type move, although it's still a nice option to have. Same with Hydration. You're not always going to be running that Rain set, but the point is that's why I gave Swampert relatively underwhelming abilities, because of how good he was already. He's just a very strong, bulky Water Ground type with good, reliable recovery moves, great coverage. It's just a good mod. It doesn't need the abilities. As for Mega Swampert, however, he does have Swift Swim, which is an incredible boosting ability with 65 base speed. Yes, I did drop the speed a tiny bit, just for logical reasons, because that motherfucker is not 70 base speed. I don't care. 65 is already generous. I mean, he should be moving pretty slowly, realistically, outside of the rain. So, you know, Swift Swim, 65 base speed is very fair. He also has Aqua Jet for physical stat priority, as well as Bubble Shot and Mud Shot for special. He also has Sucker Punch and First Impression for physical priority. So you have Aqua Jet, First Impression, and Sucker Punch for priority for the most part, which is awesome. Tons of great coverage, obviously. You know, you got Bug, Poison, Dark, Ground, Rock, fighting, etc., ice, you know, tons of great coverage options. You can hit all the stuff that resists your stat pretty easily. Play rough, etc. Awesome stuff. Really, really great mon. Bulk up plus Swift Swim is incredible, as well as Mold Breaker set. So yes, you're not always going to be running that rain set. But what I will say is 65 base speed with max speed in the rain is hitting 502 speed, and as that's with a neutral nature. Okay, I'm talking too quickly, excuse me. A neutral speed nature, 65 base speed, Mega Swampert with in the rain hits 458 speed, excuse me, which is very fast. That's outspeeding like what? 456? That's outspeeding the fastest one in the hack. Almost. All right. That's outspeeding basically everything. Okay. You're outspeeding basically everything with a neutral nature and max investment. So what you could do is you can actually speed creep and then put your other EVs in your special attack or your bulk. So you can be very smart with your EVs, because in this hack you do have access to infinite usability capsules and infinite EV training. So you can easily just, for example, say the opponent's fastest Pokemon, all right? The fastest Pokemon on their team is I'm just going to go to speed tier guide. It's a fucking, I don't know, Persian, okay? 118 base speed Persian. So 65 base speed, so 118 with a max speed hits 368. So 65 with the neutral nature has to hit 368 at +2. There you go. With only 76 speed EVs, you outspeed that Persian. And now you can dump the rest into your HP, or you can put it in your special attack to run that mixed Hydro Cannon set. You know, it's really awesome. I really like that kind of stuff. You know, speed creeping is very useful in this hack, so you definitely are going to want to take advantage of that if you are doing a hardcore Nuzlocke, and, you know, you are using the documents, which I would recommend. If you're doing a hardcore Nuzlocke, I would definitely recommend using the documents to aid yourself. I would not recommend doing a blind. You can definitely speed creep stuff and kill them that way. It's really awesome. All right. I did give them special moves earlier as well to encourage that mix set. You also have something like Z-Soak, which gives you a +2 special attack boost for early game if you want to use that. You have Belch, which gives you a +1 special attack boost, and you can use that with a berry. So, you know, Citrus Berry Belch, you know, you can actually switch in and out. So you can get that Citrus Berry to pop, then you can swap out, then swap back in, and then later on you can Belch, which is pretty cool. 120 base power. It's you know, it's a gimmick, but it's still very, very strong, especially on a faster Pokemon. They can actually sweep very nicely with Belch, which I love. It's such a cool move now with that special attack boost effect rather. Again, you can still run that bulky Swampert. You also have Headlong Rush, which is great with Swift Swim sets. Of course, Earthquake and Seismic Fist are better because Headlong Rush drops your defenses and gives you recoil damage, which is not great on a slower set. But on a faster set and a Swift Swim, Headlong Rush is great. That's a 150 base power, close combat type move that also deals recoil, 100% accurate. Very, very powerful stuff right there. There's other moves that do that same effect. You can check all those out in the description below. I don't know. There's not really too much to talk about here either. It's just a very solid, reliable water ground type. It is still by far from the best. Again, I did give the others better abilities and other cool things that they can abuse here that are unique to them, but it's still a great Pokemon. Great Pokemon. As for Mold Breaker on the Mega, you know, you do have great bulk, so you don't need to run that Swift Swim set every battle. I wouldn't. It's not realistic, honestly. I mean, you could actually, but it's not realistic. Some fights you might just want that bulky water ground. You know, just take that hit and kill him, or you know, run Aqua Jet and kill him, or bulk up Aqua Jet. You know, that kind of shit. Drain Punch, etc. But what you can do with Mold Breaker is you bypass a lot of very common abilities because a lot of Pokemon attack have Levitate now. I mean a lot. Okay, so bypassing Levitate alone is great with Mold Breaker. However, you also bypass stuff like Sturdy, which is very common with stuff like Weakness Policy and you know Shell Smash and all this other crap. So you know you say fuck you, you ignore that. That's great. You bypass Focus Sash as well. You bypass stuff like Water Absorb and Storm Drain and Dry Skin and all this other. I mean, excuse me. Mold Breaker is really great. Okay, multi-scale, Sinister with Play Rough, that kind of stuff. You really do bypass all that stuff, and that's a very, very useful tool for sure. Like very useful. So Mold Breaker is a great ability. I think it very much fits given his giant fucking arms. I think Mold Breaker is very cool and fitting for Mega Swampert. Nothing overpowered, nothing setting it over the edge. Just a nice, good ability. I really think that's about it. I'm not going to waste too much other time. You have other utility. Again, Parting Shot. You have the reliable recovery moves. You have the defense boosting moves like Bulk Up and Amnesia and Stockpile and stuff. Hydration sets are incredible, like I said. Swift Swim is obviously amazing. Yeah, I'm not going to waste too much more time on it. I think you guys get the idea here. It's a very simple change, but it's a very, very appreciated one. And it does help Swampert keep up with the high power levels in the hack. And it, you know, keeps him as a very good Pokemon, as he should be, as all Pokemon should be now. But it's nothing insane, you know. It's just a very solid, strong, good Pokemon. So that's about it. I'm going to leave it there. This is probably the quickest of the three. I don't know, maybe I'm just getting impatient, but I really don't think I need to talk any more in depth about stuff. I think I got everything covered. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, everybody, and I will be back for more Hoenn Pokemon later. Bye, everyone. Let's go.